Hey there, I'm Frank Mitchell. On this channel, it's all about helping you understand your car and keeping it running the way it should. Whether it's routine maintenance or solving those tricky problems, I've got you covered. If you find this useful, give the video a like, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to watch till the end. You might learn something that saves you time and money. All right, let's get started.
Nissan unveiled the 2020 Nissan Juke this week. This new Juke is a highly anticipated model since it replaces the first generation, an SUV that became a success since it has been marketed about 1 million units in Europe, 100,000 of them in Spain. The main feature of the Nissan Juke is that when the Japanese brand introduced it to the market more than 10 years ago, we can practically say that invented the category, since there was no urban-oriented SUV before. Now, a decade later, we confirm that Nissan was visionary in this regard, as the segment to which the Juke belongs is the fastest growing, reaching a market share of 13% and rising. In fact, such is the craze for this category that while the first Juke was practically alone in the market, now this second generation will have to fight against about 20 rivals, including the Seat Arona, Peugeot 2008, Renault Captur and Volkswagen T-Roc, Opel Mokka X, Opel Crossland X and Hyundai Kona, among others. It arrives in November. The first units of this new Juke will arrive at dealerships in November 2019. Therefore, from here and until then, it is more than likely that there will be very interesting offers from the previous Juke. If, on the other hand, you prefer the new Juke something that from here we recommend you can opt for this model that has a starting price of €19,900. This new 2020 Nissan Juke changes completely, as we will analyze below. It incorporates a new structure or platform, a design also differentiated, an improved and more spacious interior, a range of engines with the latest technology and the latest advances in safety and connectivity. Renault-Nissan platform. Starting with the platform or structure, it is worth remembering in this regard that Nissan shares many synergies with Renault, as both manufacturers together with others such as Mitsubishi form a powerful alliance in the automotive industry. Hence, this new 2020 Nissan Juke includes as its platform the structure that Renault-Nissan calls CMFB and which is present in models such as, for example, the new 2019 Renault Clio or the upcoming 2020 Renault Captur. This is important to know because whoever is interested in a Nissan Juke, for example, it is also highly recommended to have the Renault Captur as a possible model, since both models share many elements. It grows in all dimensions. Continuing with its dimensions, we are talking about the new Juke grows in virtually all its dimensions. It measures 4.2 meters long, 1.8 meters wide and almost 1.6 meters high. If we compare it with the previous Juke, we are talking about 8 centimeters longer. It also grows, and this is another important section, the battle, since it is now about 10 centimeters longer. This is an aspect that must be taken into account because the wheelbase, also known as wheelbase, is what determines the interior space. And precisely the Juke received as the main criticism the space for the rear seats. Hence Renault has chosen to modify that aspect. In other measures, the new Juke is also somewhat larger, especially in width, although the height is similar. Capable trunk. This is another of the strong points of this model. As it has increased in length, the cargo space also grows. We are talking about a trunk with a capacity of 422 liters, an increase of almost 70 liters compared to the trunk of the first Juke. With this figure, the Juke is placed in the first places in the category, which provides one of the virtues of this model. More traditional design. Another aspect to take into account of the new Juke is that it has a more conventional design, especially when compared to the 2010 model, which was groundbreaking in terms of aesthetics. This new 2020 Juke has a striking line, also with round headlights and a descending roofline, although it is not as avant-garde as the previous one. However, it does retain some nods to the first generation, such as those round optical groups, which now incorporate different strips of LED diodes. And something similar happens with the roof, which also has a drop, although it is not as pronounced. The reason for this more softened aesthetic is due to the large number of rivals with which the Juke has to compete, which we mentioned above. This new Juke is more balanced, as Nissan could not afford to lose customers in such a competitive segment. Mechanics. In relation to the engines, the range of the new Juke is initially only available with a gasoline engine with 3 cylinders, 1 liter of displacement and a power of 117 horsepower. This engine is associated with a 6-speed manual gearbox or a 7-speed automatic gearbox and dual clutch. To get the most out of the engine or achieve greater efficiency, Nissan offers 3 different driving modes: Eco, Normal and Sport. Equipment. Undoubtedly another section where the Juke stands out. We speak of the equipment that, from the first level of finish, incorporates a high list of elements. For example, in terms of technology and safety, it has lane keeping with steering intervention, emergency braking with pedestrian detection, traffic sign recognition or hill start assistant, in addition to others such as DAB digital radio or automatic emergency call. Conclusion. Nissan has taken a giant step forward with the Juke. This second generation is better in all sections. It grows in size, habitability, equipment, engine efficiency, and even safety. It is true that the competition is very strong, but since the first Juke has been a success story with nearly 100,000 units sold in Spain, we are convinced that this second chapter will continue along the same path. Soon you will be able to configure the 2020 Juke on the CarWow website. In the meantime, you can take a look at the entire Nissan range or the current Nissan Juke and enjoy the offers of our dealer network. In conclusion, the new Nissan Juke showcases a bold and distinctive design that sets it apart in the compact SUV market. With its striking exterior, modern interior features, and advanced technology, it appeals to a wide range of drivers looking for style and functionality. Whether you're navigating city streets or heading out on an adventure, the Juke promises an engaging driving experience. Thank you for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for more insights on the latest automotive trends.